Good day, everyone. And my topic this day talks about the women and violence. This topic was based on a study particular to the year during 1960s. Now, the main point of this topic is the vow or the violence against women. The violence can be physical, emotional, economical, etc. Now, during the 1980s or 1960s, here are the following assumptions of the violence against women. Now, for the first one, some people assume that the gender-specific violence does not exist. This means that the people assumed during the 1960s or 1980s that the violence are general. They assume that the violence are only on the war, chaos, and anger. Now, for the second one, those who witness and recognize violence against women view it as immoral and unnormal, rather, and unavoidable. This means, for example, during the 1980s, for example, in the situation of the family conflict, wherein the husband physically hurt his or his wife, and that's seen as normal and unavoidable. Now, I have a question. Is the violence still exist today? Although the government addressed the needs, especially for the protection of the women, which is enforce the law, which is the RA 917 or RA 9262, which is the violence, anti-violence against women and children. But the violence that exists or experienced the women in the 1960s are now, for the last slide, other forms of gender-based violence. Now, the other forms of gender-based violence, for example, the LGBTQ violence. This is not only focusing on the women. On this case, we can think that women in their normal gender, they are experiencing violence. How much more to the people that are non-straight or LGBTQ people? And that's all about my topic. Thank you for listening.
Once again, good morning everyone. And for my topic this morning is all about first is physical violence, the second one is psychological violence, and the third one is economic abuse. So please listen carefully and thank you very much. Once again, good morning everyone, and now let's discuss the physical violence. So when we say physical violence, it is the most directable form of vow is physical violence. It involves causing physical or bodily harm against another person. So it is the intentional use of physical force, actual or threatened to cause injury, pain, or impairment to another person. It encompasses a wide range of behaviors intended to control, damage, or intimidate, including hitting, kicking, burning, and using weapons. It is a criminal act that can result in immediate injury or long-term psychological harm. And then the next one, which is the psychological violence. It is a violence, a form of vow that causes mental and emotional harm through manipulation, insults, or controlling behavior. It includes constant belittling, public ridicule, repeated verbal abuse, and actions that lower a woman's self-worth, such as marital infidelity. It can also involve forcing her to witness violence or view disturbing or unwanted material. So when we say psychological violence, it is a form of abuse involving intentional, often patterned behavior that harms a person's mental health and dignity through coercion, threats, manipulation, or emotional abuse. It causes trauma, anxiety, PTSD, depression, and seeks to control victims' through isolation, gaslighting, and humiliation, existing both in private relationship in public settings. And next, which is the last one, is economic abuse. Economic abuse is a form of vow that limits or controls a woman's financial independence. It includes denying her access to money or property, controlling her earnings, destroying her belongings, or threatening to withdraw financial support. It can also involve preventing her from working or earning income, leading to dependence, low self-esteem, and increased vulnerability to further abuse. So when we say economic abuse is a form of domestic violence where an abuser controls a partner's access to economic resources, diminishing their ability to support themselves and forcing financial dependence. It involves controlling income, property, and daily essentials, often sabotaging employment or ruining credit to prevent living. And that is all of my part, and I hope you understand and listen very carefully. And I hope you got some knowledge about my topic, which is the physical violence, the second one is psychological violence, and the last one is economic abuse. Thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. So, our topic this morning is all about women and violence. But I will discussing my subtopics only, which is the sexual violence, sexual harassment, and the violence against women in public spaces. First, we have sexual violence. So, what is sexual violence? Sexual violence refers to any unwanted sexual act forced on a person, not just intercourse. It includes rape, marital rape, incest, child sexual abuse, molestation, and sexual objectification. So when we say sexual violence, it refers to any unwanted sexual act forced of a person. It is not limited to intercourse, but also it includes rape, marital rape, incest, child sexual abuse, molestation, and sexual objectification. When we say molestation, example, someone's touching someone's body without any permission, and also like pressuring someone to do or to perform uh, a sexual acts. These acts also involve a lack of consent and abuse of power. And some or other forms of sexual violence, like forcing someone to watch a pornography or perform a indecent acts. Next is rape. Rape is any forced or coerced sexual penetration, even if minimal. Consent is essential, and a person cannot give consent if they are unconscious, intoxicated, or lack of understanding, like children or persons with disabilities. So, when we say rape, it is very understandable that it refers to any forced or sexual penetration, even if it is minimal. Consent is very important, but a person cannot give a consent if they are unconscious, intoxicated, or unable to fully understand the situation, like children, kay mga bata pa man sila, or a persons with disability. Okay, next is marital rape. Marital rape is rape within marriage. Although recognized by law, it is often underreported due to shame, cultural beliefs, and pressure from family or community. So when we say marital rape, it refers or it happens within a marriage. Even if two people were married Forcing a partner into a sexual activity is also considered as rape. Although it is considered by law or it is recognized by law, but there are many cases gihapon nga wala nila na-report. It's because of shame or kaulaw, cultural beliefs, and pressure sa family and also in the society. Next is incest. Incest is involves sexual acts between closely related individuals or trusted persons. Victims are often stay silent due to fear, manipulation, or lack of awareness. So when we say incest, it is a type of sexual relationships or activity between two people who are closely related by blood or family, like parent and child, siblings, brother and sisters, grandparents and grandchilds who perform asexual acts or indecent acts. In most places, incest is illegal and considered as a serious forms of abuse, especially because it often involves the uh, power imbalance, coercion, and lack of true consent. When when the minor is involved, it is always considered as a sexual child abuse or a child abuse. Yes. And then it is also harmful because it can cause a deep emotional, psychological, and social effects for those who are involved. So, some cultural practices are also considered as sexual violence, like child marriage. It happens when a minor is forced into marriage and exposes them to early sexual activity without any true consent, and it can lead to a serious health risk. Why? Because like kuan maglisod pa man gud sila sa ilang mga responsibilities or and sa panimalay if maminyo sila kay mga bata pugod kaayo, and then it is harmful pud siya. It's because ug manganak man gud sila diha sila maglisod tungod kay bata pa kaayo sila, di pa kayo sila kuan bagay unta nga manganak tungod sa ilang kabatan-on. And also harmful pod siya ang child marriage. It's because ma-interrupt ang ilahang pag-eskwela. So di na sila imbes kanan pata sila ng eskwela, unya gipakasal na sila sa ilang ginikanan. It's because maunay culture nila nga dapat magminyo na kaana nga idara. So when we say female genital mutilation, it involves cutting parts of female genitalia, has no medical benefit, and can cause serious harm. So people who practices female genital mutilation believes that it is very important for the cultural, social, and or kanang religious reasons. Even though these beliefs are not supported by medical evidence, and this is a challenge for these days. So the common beliefs of peoples are kung buhat daw sila ani is if makabuhat daw ang usa ka babae aning female genital mutilation is kuan daw it believed that controls a girl's sexuality and or prevents premarital sex. And also some communities think girls are more likely to be accepted for um, for marriage if they undergo in it. Dagan kayo silang kuan. And then cleanliness or beauty. Limpyo daw ang usa ka babae if mobuhat og female genital mutilation. So when we say sexual harassment, it is a form of sexual violence occurring outside the home, involving coercion, manipulation, or intimidation. Under the Philippines Anti-Sexual Harassment Law of 1995, it is defined as sexual demands by someone in a position of power, regardless of consent, and is considered harassment if it is causes discomfort. So when we say sexual harassment, it is a form of sexual violence that usually happens outside the home. And also it involves coercion, intimidation, or sexual behavior. According to the Philippine law, it occurs when a person in authority makes sexual demands that can cause a discomfort to a person, and regardless whether the victim agrees or not. So the United Nations defines it as any unwelcome sexual behavior that causes offense or humiliation, and it can happen anywhere, even outside work or school hours. It is categorized into first sa verbal or kanang sa pinaagi sa baba, wrestling kanang imuhang murag tihulan ang usa ka babaye, like if na moagi, iba nakasulay naman ta ana kanang moagi ta anong daga na mga boys tapos mukalter sila og tihol. So kuan po din na siya, sexual harassment na siyang inana because it can cause discomfort sa usa ka babaye nga imong gibuhatan og inana. And then catcalling, like imo silang murag kana bitang biniga-biga na nga pagtawag, like hi miss ko palagi mo, like nga inana sa basta na sa public. It is considered also as a sexual harassment. And then sexual comments, mga jokes, personal questions, and etc. Okay. And then nonverbal siya. Sa nonverbal, ang kuan niya example is staring. Kanang tan-awon ra ka og kalit, or naay maglantaw nimo. Diba maka-cause siya og discomfort nimo because mahadlok naman ka kay naay naglantaw nimo perme. And then blocking path or kanang naay mo kalitrag atang nimo, or kana bitong mo atang ra siya kalit, like mahadlok ka, it's because ma-discomfort gyapon ka kay wala ka kailan niya unya ni kalit ra siya og atang-atang nimo sa imong giagian. And also following, kanang naay magsunod nimo, nang naay nisunod nimo, makaingon ka nga. So it can cause also og discomfort nimo because nagasunod-sunod nimo unya wa ka kaila. So mahadlok na jud ka na. And then sexual gestures, and then etc. dun sa physical is kanang touching, kanang naay mo hikapon na ka nya wa ka kaila, syempre discomfort gyapon na nimo kay lang nang nihikap siya niya di wa ka kaila. And then hugging, nang katra og animo without your permission, ana mo na siya kan ma-considered pod as a sexual harassment. And then kissing, samot nagwala imo wala na nang hid nimo or mukalat ra panghalok, diba nakasulay na tana sa una, like sa high school, mukalit ra og na IG time nga binuangan ka sa mga boys, diba nga kuan na rin mukalit og panghalo kana nakatry ko ana. And then considered po siya as a sexual harassment. And standing too close, kanang duol na kay siya duol jud kay siya kuan nimo nagtindog, so or naay duol nimo nga sa katawo tapos wala ka kaila, syempre discomfort nga nung duol mo siya nga matakila ni. And then it is a form of gender-based violence that limits women's equal rights and freedom. Okay, to conclude, all these forms of violence, sexual harassment, and violence against women in public spaces are serious issues that affects people's safety, dignity, and also rights. It is important that we promote respect, awareness, and equality to help prevent these acts. Thank you, and once again, good day.
Hello guys, good morning once again, and today I am the fourth reporter. So the topic that I will be discuss, it's all about pornography, prostitutions, sexual slavery, and sex trafficking. But before that, what comes in your mind the word pornography? Yes? Okay, thank you. So, today we will know what is the meaning of pornography, prostitution, sexual slavery, and sex trafficking. So, when we say pornography, maybe the most controversial issue in the feminist circle, right? So, it is defined as the representations through publications, exhibitions, cinematography, indecent shows, information technology, or by whatever means of a person's engage in real or simulated explicit sexual activities or any representations of the sexual parts of a person's for a primary sexual purposes. So in other words, pornography maybe is the content showing acts for the people consumes, but it hard to clearly separate it from art because some sexual content can also seem as the creative or expressive. So it also points out that working in the pornography is most so um industry can be risky, right? Because it's the word porn, 'di ba? So especially for women who may face unfair treatment or health issues because in work the in this kaning nganing trabaho, it may cause for the health problems, especially for the women kung dili sila i-treat as an equal for both women. So, from a feminist point of view, that they are the two sides of this. Some believe in can empower people to express their sexuality freely. So, ang uban to join this kind of work of pornography because they can be expressed freely sa ilang kaugalingon nga niining trabaho while others think it reduces women to objects made for others' pleasures. Ang uban pod ni join sila na ning work because kanang gipangita nila ang pleasures, gipangita nilang usa ka butang nga murag makahatag ganing kalipay sa ilahang kaugalingon. And also, this connects to advertisement to where women's bodies are sometimes used to just to attract, yes, attention, making them seem like objects instead of individuals with identity and value. So, those creating um those creating blurring in between erotica and pornography. So, ako ni siyang research what is the mean between of the erotica and pornography. Well, the clearly tell difference between erotica and pornography. Some sexual contents can be seen artistic or expressive, that is erotica, while the other contents made mainly or sexual arousal or sealing, just like man siya ang pornography. But because they can talk similar or show the same kind of scenes, the boundary between them is not always clear, but so people may disagree which one of this. I will give some example of this about pornography. So, let's talk in the blurry line between erotica and pornography. So, a movie or artwork that shows nudity or intimacy in a serious or emotional story, like a Roman film in a scene, may be considered as erotica because but a video made mainly to arouse viewers focusing only on sexual acts, that the blurry line happens when a scene looks artistic, but it's still very explicit. So people disagree on how to classify of this. And now, let's put the examples in workers' issues in industry. That some performers may be pressured doing since they're uncomfortable with it. Like, karagaling, dog ni ana ang trabaho, but they can be performed very well, or karagaling karagaling dili sa comfortable silang kaugalingon, labi na kung silang ilahang katrabaho is di sila comfortable. So others may face unfair pay lack of protections, or rest, health rest. So this shows why it's also a labor or workers' right issue. So some of this, say makita mo ginato sa mga balita-balita bisag ning ani ang mga work, makita gid nato nga they are some of kaning unfair pay, and ang uban pod is lack of protections kay ganing mostly example na kana nagatrabaho and then mura ganing makita sa tao diha nimo nga hugaw na ka nga na imong trabaho and makakos pud siya og health. But if you kanagaling ano sa imong kaugalingon, you will know kung unsa jud mga outcomes if yung like kanagaling mo apil kag mga ning-aning work. So napoy examples ani just like in commercial nga kanagaling ang ilang commercial is like the car or maybe kanagaling not showing kayo but kuan kanang ang suot sa isa ka babae or ang kuan is like grabe kay ka kuan ba kanang grabe kay showy sa body, so murag makakuha gani siya attention po gani sa mga labi natong mga tawo nga hilig kanang grabe kay mo ano ba, so makakuha siya og attention jud. So and now I will be the continue in. So, in short, the word pornography is debated because it can be seen as either a form of personal expression or a practice that objectives people, that especially women, and may involve harmful working conditions. So, maka-involve siya og harmful or kanang makakuha siya og health problems sa usa ka babaye. And now, let's proceed to words prostitutions. So when we say prostitutions, what comes in your mind? Okay, prostitution is defined as any act, transactions, shame, or design involving the use of person by another for sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct in exchange for money, right? Profit, or any other considerations. So sa prostitutions, daghang lain-laing pamaagi niini. Ang uban is like transactions like muna inyohang transact na imuhang kaugalingon ni ana, or it designed for another sexual intercourse or exchange money. Mamaw siya sa what others word in transaction or ang kanagaling exchange for money mura ganig imuhang kaugalingon imuhang gibaligya sa isa ka butang para lang makabay or makakuan ka niana. So profit or ganahang kag yuta and then imuhang kaugalingon imuhang hatag niana or any other considerations. So here, prostitution is when a person is paid for sexual activities. Some people believe it should be allowed and workers should be protected, but in reality, it can be unsafe because some individuals, especially for women, may be exploited, treated unfairly, or put in danger to the power imbalance and gender inequality. Examples of this is that a woman accepts money for sexual services because she has no other way to earn. Kadaghanan sa mga ning-aning pamaagi or mga panghitabo gid no nga kanang wa nay other way or wa nay laing buhaton to kanang makaka-earn og money, that's why their body selling to to other boys, sa mga mga tawo, so that maka-earn gani sila, to which lead to exploitation. So man siya yung makakuan siya nga nagay mga transactions or any exchange for money. So someone is forced or pressured into prostitution by another person, just like a trafficker or abusive partner. So dili lang sa exchange for money, dili lang sa money, kung dili is kanaganing gipugos ka bisag dili nimo gusto. And they can be they can be word gitawag siya og prostitutions kanaganing kanang a person is gi-pressured gani nimo. Examples ani or especially like do you na kay partner and then kanaganing gipugos ka, so that is the called of prostitution nga kanaganing gipugos ka pero kanaganing dili ka ganahan but you are pressured or forced to do that kind of kuan, so mo na nga gitawag og prostitutions. or maybe worker may face violence or abuse from clients. So mo'y kadaghanan ning ani nga kadaganing gitrabaho ka as a company or dili lang sa company or other kuan nga do you have a client na kadaganing gi gibastusan gani ka sa mga ning ana, and then but has a little protections or support. So kadaganing a worker may face violence or abuse from clients but has a little protections or support. So much better nga kana magong kadaganing bisag ang nga is protektahan gani ka to care especially sa imong mental health sa asa ka babayi. Or a person in the sex industry may experience discriminations, may be looked down on, affecting their safety and well-being. So, syempre, maka-words mo gugaw, makakita kag nga kita mo ng isa ka babayi nga gatrabaho ting ana sa industry or in sex industry, ma-discriminate magid nimo siya, ma-judge nimo siya nganong kana manggisudlan nimong trabaho. May nalimpyo nga pamaagi pero nganong kana. Pero mo na giingon nga natay lang laing pamaagi sa tong kagalingon, dili ta ka judge of them kung ganahan mo dyan ng ilaha. So may pud ilaha lahi pud ng imuha, pero ma-discriminate mo gud sila and it can cause pud sa ilahang mental health sa ilang kaugalingon. Now, let's proceed to sexual exploitation. So, when the word sexual exploitations, it is the participations of the women in the sex industry, prostitution, just like what I said earlier, or pornography because of force or intimidations. So, when a woman is compelled to enter this industry because of lack of options, muna akong gingon ganina nga kanaganing wa na laing mahimo, wa na laing work, so they can enter, so mo join sila ni aning trabaho na sex industry, prostitutions or pornography because no choice to find another work. So because of lack of options. So noji kadaghanan or karamihan sa mga babae yung wala na talagang options, so they enter just like this of works. So sexual exploitation is when a person, usually a woman, is forced, tricked, or pressured into joining sex industry like prostitutions or pornography. And especially when a woman, she cannot fairly live because situations like sex slavery and sex trafficking where people are controlled and abused for sexual purposes. Example of this, it is a woman is processed a job but is forced into prostitution when she arrives. Examples ani nga kanaganing ang gi-offer diri sa imo nga pakagatrabaho, ang gi-offer is manglimpyo kas panimalay. At the end, pag abot nimo sa imuhang gitrabahoan, lahi di ang work nga imong na sinati. So may siya gitaw o sexual exploitation nga ang gi-offer sa imo is to clean or mahimong maid, but the end sa pag-abot nimo is nahimo kang na punta ka sa trabaho nga di wala nimo gi-assume sa imong kaugalingon. And a person is tricked and then cannot leave because their documents are taken away. Example of, continue to example nga ang imuhang trabaho nga gi-offer diri is nahimo kang maid, at the end nahimo kang nahimo na kang naabot ka sa kabutang nga dili angay sa imuhang kaugalingon, and then dili ka makapahawa because the documents nga kuan is naan nila. So no choice ka, so mo na yung lack of options, no choice ka, nahimo ka sa nianang butang, and someone is pressured to stay in the sex industry because they are treated or have no support to live. So medyo mabantayan nato na sa mga balita, labi na sa mga gipang balita nga makita nato sa TV or sa ni Rafi Tulfo nga makita nato dito nga kadaghanan jud sa mga ning-anang butang nga kanaganing abi nimo nga ang trabaho nimo is ning ana, but the end is pag-abot nimo is lahi di ay. So mo siya gitawag sexual exploitation nga kaning napunta ka sa usa ka trabaho nga wala ka assume. And now let's move to spiritual violence. So, spiritual violence or spiritual force is a form of violence against women that uses religion or spirituality to discredit, harm, or disempower them. It happens when powerful religious leaders are use supposedly religious ideologies to control and rule over women. So, in spiritual violence, it is happens when religion or belief are used to control, harm, or limit women. It occurs when leaders or groups misuse faith to make women obey unfair rules or offer abuse. Example of this, it is a religious leader forces women to obey strict rules that remove their freedom. And a woman is told she must accept abuse because it is God's will. Mao ba? So and also in a cult, women made or abused by leaders using religious or an excuse. So spiritual violence or it is some examples of exploitations na kana ganing na mo ganing anipod no nga ingon sila for the good and for the God ang ani. But the same thing of nga ani pod na yung mga uban nga lahi pod ang tinguha. Natod ka sa simbahan or you do the spiritual na ka sa mga spiritual nga mga work, but the end is namo kining ani nga kaning gabuhat pug gihapon og dili maayo, or a religious leader forces women to obey strict rules that remove their freedom, or she must accept abuse because it is God's will. Mo ba? And now let's move to reproductive or medical abuse. So other least known forms of BAW or violence against women have to do with issues related to having or not having a children. Women may be forced to get pregnant or use contraceptives or undergo abortions. Other form of violence is the withholding of information about safe pregnancy, contraceptives, and childbirth. So here it is reproductive or medical abuse when a woman is forced to control indecisions about her body and reproductions. This includes being pressured about pregnancy, contraceptions, abortions, or medical procedures without proper choice. Yes, choice, consent, or information is a form of violence because it takes away a woman's right to decide what happened to her body. Example of this, a woman is forced to get pregnant or forced to use birth control against her will. So, naapo ni siya law ning ani as dabaw nga kanang dili angay pugso ng ang usa ka babayi if di siya willing to do that. A pregnant woman is not given information about safe pregnancy or childbirth options. And also example of this is a woman forced to undergo sterilizations like tubal ligations without her full consent. And a patient is made to have a medical procedure like a C-sections. And also, a woman are used to medical experiments without permission which harms and their health and rights. So, these examples, it can be sa example siya sa reproductive or medical abuse nga kadaganing walay mga kadaganing walay pahibalo, walay consent na gikan nimo, and also marag siya ba kadaganing na nani siya law ni ini. So, makahatag ni siya og kanaganing causes o sa kababayi pod no nga kanaganing walay mga consent, especially if you're not kanang dili pa ka ready sa ning anang butang, and then suppose kanang gipugos ka, so there is the law behind of this. So so it's a reproductive or medical abuse. So that's my topic for today's morning, and I hope all of you kanang nakasabot lang mo sa ko ang report. So that's it, and thank you.
Good day, ma'am. I am Riza Miti Ignacio from BSE 3. So today, I will tackle my subtopic about abuse of women in intimate relationships or AWARE, domestic violence, impacts of violence against women or BAW, and health consequences, and lastly, the effects on children. Now, we will proceed to the first subtopic, which is the abuse of women in intimate relationships or aware. The first bullet is the violence or harm by a current or former partner. So, it means that aware or abuse of women in intimate relationships are means abuse or violence against women done by their current partner or their former partner. So, like for example, the first bullet it talks about the violence or harm by a current or former partner. So in that case, even if he is the former or a current partner, if they abuse the woman, it can be called an abuse for women. And the second bullet is it is affects women physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Of course, syempre kitang mga bayi is if dili lang man gud pasabot na ang abuse is only to physical, but of course naapektuhan din ng kanilang physical, emotionally, and psychologically. Ang ibang babae is natutulala, hindi alam yung gagawin, even they didn't hurt in physical, may mga ibang babae nag-hurt sa mentally. So ang iba is nababaliw, ang iba hindi alam ang gagawin, ang iba nakatulala. And because of that, the effects of abuse in their physically and mentally is also through emotionally, and lahat maapektuhan Syempre, if nasaktan ka, hindi lang physical na katawan yung nasasaktan, kundi yung mental health mo, and of course the psychologically. Minsan yung ibang babae is kung ano nang iniisip na trauma na, so that ang daming nangyayari talaga na abusement, not just in physically but also in another aspects of our body and of course our health, mental health. Now, 1 in 3 women experience abuse in their lifetime. So it affects the 1 in 3 women. 1 out of 3 women experience abuse in their lifetime. So dili na siya literal na bago na sa atin, kay ang uban is usually their husbands, sinasaktan sila. So hindi sila makawala dahil merong mga anak, merong mga masasaktan, so tinitiis nila. So marami talagang babae na nakaka-experience sa kanilang buong buhay ng physically, emotionally, and psychologically na abuse. Now, for the fourth bullet is up to 70% of perpetrators are intimate partners. So, pasabot ani is 70% out of 100 ang nag-a-abuse sa mga babae is their intimate partner, which is their current or former partner. So nakarelasyon nila ang kanilang mga abusive partner. So ang 30% maybe yun yung mga another people, another man, but 70%, almost 100 na ang sinasabi na partner nila is yun yung nag-a-abuse sa kanila. So now let's proceed for the second one, which is domestic violence. So when we say domestic violence, it happens inside the home. So domestic, from the word domestic, it happens from the home. Hindi nakikita sa public or anything na another places, but the abuse is already at home or ginawa ito sa bahay. So the first one occurs within the home due to unequal power relationship. So masabot ana is tungod sa babae siya, may unequal power of relationship na kapag lalaki siya lang ang maglilid, na kapag ang lalaki siya lang yung nagdidesisyon. And because of that power, of that mindset, sinasaktan yung mga babae na dapat ikaw nandito ka lang sa bahay, dapat ikaw gumagawa ka ng kahit nang gusto ng isang babae or ang wife is magtrabaho sa ganito, pero hindi pinapayagan. So sinasaktan sila because they didn't follow the rules of their husband. So the second one is can happen between spouses, parents and children, or relatives. Wow, grabe. It means bukod sa asawa, nangyayari din sa mga magulang, mga anak, and of course sa kanilang mga relatives or mga parente. So, children exposed are more likely to develop behavioral problems. Of course, di ba? Niagi ta sa pagkabata. So, if makitaan jud na itong gaaway, gi-abuse jud ang imong mama, so ma-feel jud nimo na ma-feel jud din mo na sakit kaayo. So, and because of that, nagkakaroon ng problem, behavioral problem, ang pag-develop ng behavioral problem ng isang bata. Nakaka-apekto yun because they see their parents na ina-abuse or grabe ang pagtatalo. So, experience abuse or exploitation. So, it means that can become victims of abuse. So, ang children is usually because they experience abuse, humihina ang katawan, di ba? Hindi nakakaya. And of course, become future victims of perpetrators. So, even ang mga bata, pwedeng maging ma-abuse ng kanilang it's either relatives or anything na grabe ang pag-abuse. So, hindi lang babae, kundi pwedeng mga anak, kamag-anak, or anything na nakaka-feel ng abuse. So, now let's proceed to the third one, which is the impacts of violence against women or BAW. Limits women's participation in society. Of course, if sinasaktan sila ng kanilang mga asawa or anything na nakapaligid sa kanila, nalilimitahan yung participation in society. Usually, they're limited at homes na pinipigilan sila na dito ka lang sa bahay. So, usually ganyan, hindi na nakakapag-participate especially sa mga nangyayari sa society because of the lack of freedom and lack of voices. So, victims lose health days due to abuse, of course, sa mga pasa, sa mga nangyayari sa kanila, and of course, like what I said earlier, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. Tungod sa abusiveness is nalulos ang kanilang mga health days because dinadamdam nila, they feel that they don't have a freedom. They feel that their body is suffering in that kind of abuse, then causes financial burden. Of course, diba, usually ang mga ina-abuse is tungkol sa financial, maong gi-abuse sila or tungkol sa mga problems. It causes financial burden like treatment, shelters, or legal services. Nagkakos talaga siya ng money when it comes sa mga abusive. Yun yung mga impacts ng violence. So, now let's proceed to the health consequences. When we say health consequences, ito yung mga consequences na mangyayari sa kanilang kalusugan. So, leads to physical, emotional, and sexual health problems. Of course, in physical, our body, syempre nasasaktan yan. Emotional, our mind, our nararamdaman, and of course, sa sexual health. Hindi natin alam, baka pinoforce sila, hindi natin alam na baka may something na. So, yun yung isa sa mga problems or yung mga tatlo na yan na mga problems na maaaring mangyari tungkol sa abuse. So, includes unwanted pregnancy. Of course, may ibang mga asawa na gusto talagang pilitin kahit hindi gusto na. Tinatawag na yun na kahit asawa pa is rape. So, unwanted pregnancy. Because of that, hindi ready ang babae. Hindi naman nila inisip na magkaroon ng isang anak. So, unwanted pregnancy. And the second one is miscarriage. Of course, tungkol sa abusiveness, nakukuna ng isang babae because the suffering of their body, hindi kinakaya, kaya nami-miscarriage ang kung ano mang meron sa kanila na baby. So, sexually transmitted disease, of course, yan yung medyo nakakatakot kasi usually sa pagiging abusive ng isang tao, hindi natin alam kung meron bang sakit ang isang tao because of abusiveness na ipapasa ang mga hindi dapat na ipapasa ng mga sakit and mga diseases sa mga babae. So now let's proceed for the fourth one, mental health issues. Like what I said earlier, they affect their psychologically and mentally because they have a traumas. na ninalabanan and minsan hindi nakakapag-isip ng maayos tungkol sa abusiveness. Sa PTSD or anxiety, depression, of course, low self-esteem may result in harmful coping, smoking, drugs, risky behavior. Usually, yung ibang mga babae hindi kinakaya, so parang napapaliw na sila. Minsan, nilalabas nila yung sama ng loob nila because of their trauma sa mga smokings, mga risky behavior, and of course, sa drugs. Kasi nga, usually, ang mindset ng mga nagdadrugs para makawala. So, delikado yung mga ganun na nangyayari kapag ikaw ay na-abuse. So, now, let's proceed to the last one. Syempre, hindi lang babae ang masasabing may abusiveness. Nakaka-apekto rin ito sa mga bata or sa mga children. The first one is higher risk of abuse and neglect. Of course, because of the abusiveness, ang iba hindi na napapansin na kanilang mga anak or minsan nadadamay sa pagiging abuse ng isang tao. So, napapabayaan sila and may suffer anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. Of course, kung ano yung nangyayari sa mama, naapektuhan din ng kanilang mga children na syempre at the young age, nakakasuffer sila ng anxiety, depression, and of course, lack of self-confidence because ang parents nila is ganito, ang mama nila is nasasaktan. So, now let's proceed to the last one. Difficulty in school and social functioning. May normalize violence and repeat it in adulthood. So, ang word na yan, difficulty in school and social functioning. Of course, yung mga bata is nagkakaroon sila ng takot, trauma, and of course, wala silang confidence na makipag-socialize to another people, to another student. So, may normalize violence and repeat it in adulthood. Yan ang malaking problema. May normalize. Usually, kung ano nakikita ng mga bata, yun yung ginagaya nila na mga behavior. Kung ano yung nakikita sa magulang, yun yung mamana ng kanilang mga anak because of that situation na akala nila okay, and of course ang kanilang mga iniisip is hindi pa masyadong nade-develop ko, so inaakala nila na okay lang to and ma-adapt talaga nila yung ginagawa na violence. So thank you for listening, ma'am. So that's all for my topic. Thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. As the last reporter, I will discuss the prevention and response to violence against women, including of this, the effect of laws protecting women in the Philippines, and ways to prevent and respond to violence. The first things that we need to tackle is effects of violence against women, such as mental health effects. The violence against women can cause serious mental health problems such as post-traumatic stress disorder, or what we call the PTSD, anxiety, depression, eating disorder, sleep disorder. Let's say, for example, a woman who experiences repeated abuse may become fearful even in safe situation. She may have nightmares or panic attacks. The second one, we have physical health effects. The violence against women can also lead to physical health problems like migraines, body pain, limited mobility, stress-related illness, such as example, a victim of physical abuse may suffer injuries. In the long-term stress can weaken the immune system, and the behavioral effects of it may develop harmful coping mechanisms such as smoking, substance abuse, risky behavior. Let's say, for example, some victims may turn to alcohol to temporarily escape the emotional pain. Now, the effects of children violence not only affect women, it also affects children who witness abuse. Possible effects: anxiety and fear, low self-esteem, poor school performance, emotional trauma. Let's say, for example, a child who regularly witnesses parents fighting may struggle to focus in school. The long-term impact to children with exposed to violence may become future victims, become perpetrators themselves. Let's say, for example, a boy who grew up seeing abuse may think violence is normal in relationships. The third one, we have laws and violence against women in the Philippines. The Philippines has several laws to protect women. First one, we have Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995, which is protects women from sexual harassment in school and workplaces. Let's say, for example, a teacher making inappropriate comments to a student. The next one, we have Anti-Rape Act of 1997, which is recognized rape as a crime against a person. Example, any sexual act without consent. Rape Victims Assistance of 1998 provides support and protection to victims. Counseling and medical assistance. That is the example of it. We have also Anti-Mail Order Bride Law prevents exploitation of women through arranged marriage for profit. Example, illegal agencies offering women to marriage for abroad, we have also Anti-Trafficking in Person Act of 2003, which is protect people from trafficking and exploitation, which is forcing women into labor or prostitution. Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, which is protect women and children from physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, economic abuse. Example, a husband controlling all money and refusing financial support. Fast facts about violence against women, which lower education, increases vulnerability. Example, lack of awareness may prevent women from seeking help. Witnessing family violence increases risk. Example, children who witness abuse may normalize it. Women become isolated. An abused partner may stop a woman from seeing friends. Daily life is affected. A victim may stop going to work or school, which is intimate partner violence. This refers to abuse within romantic relationship. Common causes: desire for control, jealousy, and equal gender rules, toxic beliefs about power, a boyfriend checking his partner's phone and controlling who she talks to. The prevention of violence against women promote education and awareness. People should understand what abuse is. For example, school seminars about healthy relationships, challenge harmful beliefs. Society must reject ideas that justify abuse, saying jealousy is proof of love is harmful. Strengthen laws. Laws must be properly enforced. Let's say, for example, immediate action when abuse is reported. Family and community support victims need safe spaces. Barangay support programs and counseling center. The response to violence against women, what are these? Report the abuse victims should report incidents, reporting to police or barangay officials, provide support services victims needs, counseling shelter, legal help, encourage community action. Everyone has responsibility. Example, reporting suspected abuse instead of ignoring it. In conclusion, violence against women is not just a personal issue. It is a social issue that affects families, children, and communities. Prevention begins with awareness, education, and support. Violence against women is never acceptable. Silence protects the abuser, but awareness and action protect the victim. Thank you.